All right, so this is kind of the part two to my Plickers instruction screencast. I left off a few things that I want to kind of amend and add an addendum to so you fully understand what's going on. So when I was talking about uh, creating questions, I talked about how to send each question to the different queues. All right, so if I want to take this question, there's one on our solar system, and I want to add it to a queue, then I can press the button and that will send it to whatever particular class I want to send it to. All right, but in the last video, I also mentioned moving questions. All right, so if I take a question and I want to add it to a queue, let's say I want to take, there's one sun in our solar system question, and actually that shouldn't be a question, and I want to add it to my master's cohort page, then I can click here and it will automatically go into my master's cohort queue, right? That question will be added to my master's cohort question. As you can see over here, it gets added. But let's say, for instance, I want to take this question and I want to move it into a particular class. All right, let's say, for instance, I want to take, there's one cell in our solar system, and I want to move the question. I don't want it in my library anymore. Say I want it in a particular folder. So when I go to use it for that particular class, the question will be there. I'll click here, and where it says, and go down to where it says move question. Now keep in mind, when you move the question, it will leave your library folder. It will no longer be in there. If you add it to the queue of another folder or another class, it remains in the library. But if you click move question, it gives you the option to which class you want to move it to. Let's say I want to move it to my demo class. Then you say move. You'll notice that that question is no longer in here. But if I open up my demo class, there's the question. All right, so the difference between adding to queue means it stays in the library. Moving it, though, moves it out of one folder and puts it in another one. All right, so these are all my questions. Again, if I want to take this very same question, what planet does Superman come from? If I want to move that question, I pick the class I'm going to move it to, move. That question leaves my folder. All right, leaves my library folder, goes into the class of my choosing and no longer part of my library. All right, and also when you're creating questions, at one point I said to you that if you create a question and then if you just click save, it doesn't give you the option, it doesn't open up a new cell so you can make a new question. All right, so let's just say, again, I want to come up with a question. What time is noon, right? And so you want to say, what, 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 1 o.m., look at that, or 12 p.m., or 3 p.m., right? We create my questions, you go down here, you hit the correct answer. Now, before I said if you hit save, it doesn't give you the option to create a new question, and it doesn't, right? If you hit here, it'll save it and open up another screen so you can add a new question right then and there. But let's say I don't do that. Let's say I hit save, right? It creates the question for me, puts it in there, but really it's no big deal because if I think of another question, wait a minute, I just thought of another question. I can just go back here and hit this button again, and it opens it back up and it puts it in the same spot. So it doesn't really matter which one you want to use. The save and create new just saves you time if you have a series of questions that you want to put in. All right. Now, another thing that I didn't go over, or I kind of glossed over, I want to make clear, was when you go to the live view. All right, you have all your questions ready, you have everything set up in the class you want to talk about, then you go to your live view. All right, live view is where you're actually going to set up, put the question so that your students can see it. So you go to live view, you open your Plickers app, and you select your class. So you open your Plickers on the mobile device to which you downloaded the app. All right. Once you have it open on your app, then you select the class or the question that you want to use. All right. So let's say, for instance, I want to use this question, right? I press the question I want to use, and then as you see, that question will pop up on the screen. If you're projecting this to your classroom, they can now see the screen, and all the students will see that their names are up there as well. All right. You can reveal the answer once the kids go over it, once the kids reveal the answer to you. All right. But this is what they will see on the screen once you open up your app on your phone or your mobile device and select the question you want. Now you'll see all your questions that you have in the queue for that particular class. All right. You can choose the question you want. You don't have to choose them in order. You can choose whatever question you want. And whatever question you want, your Plickers will update on your computer so the kids can see whichever one you're doing. Okay? Whichever question you want them to answer. All right. And then the kids, once they see the question, they will have their Plickers card and they can rotate their card. So let's say, for instance, the answer is D. All right. What color is our sun? And let's say D is the answer because it is. The kids will take their Plickers card and they will rotate the card until D is on the top. And then you press the camera icon on your mobile device, scan the room, it will pick up all the answers from the cards, and then it will reveal the answers over here. All right. I believe I've covered everything that I kind of missed in the first one. Hope that it's helpful. There are some tips and questions that go along with the whole live view. So if there's anything, troubleshooting, if you have problems, there's places within the website that you can go to help you answer these questions. All right. Have a good day.